a current PhD student at a little-known art college called Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design. I'm also working in collaboration with the Centre for Anatomy and Human Identification, also at the University of Dundee. And I'm lucky enough to be sponsored by the very exciting up-and-coming V&A at Dundee project, and I'm funded by the Economic and Social Research Council, so not a design council, through a joint scholarship at the University of St Andrews. And over the next, I think, 400 seconds or so, I'm going to introduce you to some of my research into an area that I refer to as forensic jewellery. And primarily, I'm interested in how jewellery can be used to help identify the victims of large-scale disasters such as 9/11, but I'm also interested in its use in other areas such as in crimes or homicides. This is actually my 6th year at Duncan of Jordanstone now. Prior to the PhD, I studied on the Jewellery and Metal Design programme, and just last year I finished the Master of Design, which is where my research into the area began. And this is some of the work that I produced last year through the Masters. Sorry, I thought I was being clever with the whole iPad thing, but it's really awkward with the microphone. I was part of a team of interdisciplinary researchers between the art school and the College of Life Sciences, and we were working on behalf of an external brief on behalf of Interpol. And this is some of the jewellery that was recovered from the aftermath of 9/11. And jewellery itself can be very useful in identification after a disaster, however, only if it is described in a particular way. And as jewellery can change and deform post-mortem, it means that the way that people describe it will obviously also change, and this can be really problematic in terms of identification. So over the course of a year, we worked in a team to design a system, a forensic jewellery classification system, that would encourage people to describe jewellery in the same standardised way. And in doing so, we had to be really mindful of the different cultures, religions, languages and backgrounds that people using this system might come from. This is a selection of some of the people that we worked with on the project. And one of the police officers that we worked with on the project actually helped us secure a small amount of funding to trial the system with the National Police Improvement Agency in Durham, which we hope to do later on in the year. But aside from that, there are lots and lots of ways in which jewellery can help in identification. And since the Masters, the focus of my PhD has shifted to look much more at the sort of holistic use of jewellery in a process called disaster victim identification. And specifically, I'm looking at how identity and the identity crisis in the 21st century has been kind of characterised by an increased reliance on biometric and digital technologies as a means of addressing this. And as a designer, it's my hope to use design to try and bring back the human and the humanistic element to identification. And collectively, our research group at the V&A at Dundee are researching the concepts of design-led innovation and knowledge exchange. And what forensic jewellery hopes to do within this is to push design into an area that traditionally it's not been associated with in order to help innovate. I'm also a member of the British Association of Human Identification and Kenyan International Emergency Services, and both companies are very kindly sponsoring my PhD research. And with Kenyan, I'm actually trained to deploy worldwide to respond to global disasters, although thankfully I'm yet to be deployed. And I'm also currently in contact with a forensic artist at the Texas Rangers in the US regarding a cold case file that she's working on where some very distinctive jewellery was recovered from the unidentified body of a missing person, and I'm currently advising with the kind of jewellery identification process on that case. And as I only have 100 seconds left, I'm going to just use the time to tell you about one of my favourite forensic jewellery case studies, as it were, that I've come across. And it's actually a very famous murder investigation story from the UK back in 1996. And this was one of the most intriguing cases of the whole of the 20th century, in my opinion, where a Rolex wristwatch was actually the kind of cornerstone of a whole murder investigation, and it helped to identify the body of a missing person and also lead to the conviction of his murderer. And the dead body of this man was recovered from the English Channel, and it was a complex case because the identity of the man was unknown and the body was also very badly decomposed. And this Rolex unexpectedly became the key piece of evidence in solving the case, as every Rolex watch is engraved with a unique serial number just under the 6 o'clock mark, which is traceable back to the point of purchase and sometimes even the purchaser themselves. And the man was later identified to be a Ronald Joseph Platt, and a very large murder investigation was subsequently launched, resulting in the conviction of a murderer who was actually on Interpol's most wanted list. And companies like Rolex regularly offer assistance to the police. Tiffany and Co helped the NYPD set up a database in the aftermath of 9/11. And in the future, I'm going to try and present forensic jewellery at a few conferences, including the Investigating Forensics in Major Crimes Conference in Leicester and the International Forum for Disaster Victim Identification in London. And it's very scary trying to represent art and design at these scientific events, but it's a great honour to be doing so. The project's also been sort of featured in the press quite a lot recently, including in the Investigator magazine and an up-and-coming article in the Independent newspaper. And I think that should bring me to my last slide. Yes, it does. So thank you very much for listening to me and my squeaky voice on the microphone. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about the project, then there's some contact details there, and there should be a website soon, hopefully, as well. So thank you for listening. I hope it was interesting, and any questions, you can see me afterwards. Thank you.